I'm Staff Sergeant Allie Rose. In the news, NATO is approaching 150,000 international troops in Afghanistan, about 45,000 who are non-American. This according to Michelle Flournoy, the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy.
So NATO has stepped up in numbers. We also see a number of the countries stepping up in terms of their activities. For example, the Germans are now fully partnered with the Afghan units in the north and are operating with them, training with them, doing everything with them. That is a real change, and we've seen other countries also step up.
Ms. Flournoy also said one of the critical shortfalls still faced is an inadequate number of trainers and mentor teams. And this must be addressed if we are going to be in a position to transition to Afghan leading security efforts. Salvatore Giunta is slated to become the first living veteran of the Iraq and Afghan wars to receive the Medal of Honor. However, during a recent interview, Sergeant Giunta praised the heroic actions of his brothers in arms, still on the front lines.
I'm mediocre at best. Everyone else around me, this is one incident in my life. This is, I don't know how long it lasted. There was a time frame, but you know, these guys are back out there doing it again. And I'm standing here underneath this tree in Vicenza, Italy, essentially living the life compared to what they got going on right now. So I mean, those are the hard chargers.
Giunta exposed himself to enemy fire in Afghanistan in order to rescue his fellow soldiers. An update on a story we've been following, flood relief efforts in Pakistan. The U.S. military has reached a milestone. 5 million pounds of relief supplies have been delivered since 5 August. Helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft have also rescued more than 13,000 people. Relief efforts are being coordinated through the Pakistani government. The Vermont National Guard's air ambulance unit got a big send-off Friday to duty in Iraq. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder traveled to South Burlington to help say goodbye. The Attorney General also praised the unit for its support during the 9/11 attacks. The soldiers will undergo deployment training first at Fort Hood, Texas. And for the latest military news, signature programming, podcast, and more, head to PentagonChannel.mil. I'm Staff Sergeant Allie Rose with your Pentagon Channel News Update.
Last year, 7 members of the Arkansas National Guard committed suicide, and that was a number that jolted the state's Guard into action. They quickly created a treatment team made up of a chaplain, the suicide prevention officer, and a psychological services officer. And here's how they worked together one night to save one Guardsman's life.
It's middle of the night, I get a phone call from a particular soldier.
The crisis call came as a tip.
He says, "Sir, I've been at a bar with my buddy. He's not doing too good." And he said, "Sir, can I give you his phone number? Can you give him a call?" "Absolutely, I'll give him a call."
Started drinking that night, and I actually drove to Walmart, bought a Tylenol, or one of the big economy size Tylenol PM bottles.
I then dial the number several times. He doesn't answer. I text him, and the next thing I know, he calls me back.
Don't know how I got his number. Don't remember at all.
And I said, "Specialist Ritter, where are you at?" He said, "I don't want to tell you, sir." He said, "Sir, I've taken a bottle of pills." I asked him, I said, "How many pills did you take?" And he said, "It's enough to finish me."
While this was happening, I kept kind of going in and out of conscience.
Chaplain Miller texted the soldier throughout the night, and while Chaplain Miller was doing that, I was working with the police department with 911 trying to locate him.
We knew that time was running out on us. He was complaining about not being able to feel his legs, not being able to feel his arms.
They were able to find 2 possible addresses.
He was misspelling a lot of words. Sometimes he would send me texts that was just gibberish.
Chaplain Miller and I were a little stressed, thinking that we had run out of time.
Eventually, he said, I'm really getting numb now. I'm going to go ahead and break contact, and he did.
The paramedics showed up. They kicked down the door of one of those locations, and he was there.
I didn't have a pulse. I didn't have anything.
He was not responsive. He was not breathing.
Paramedics actually revived me.
He was unconscious for a matter of days, off and on again. We thought we were going to lose him several times.
I mean, it was definitely a God thing, because the paramedic and the doctor said I shouldn't have been alive at all.
And you can hear the rest of Specialist Ritter's story, as well as other stories of survival, in the second edition of Restoring Hope, part of our special This Week in the Pentagon coverage of suicide in the ranks. The latest edition is airing all week long right here on the Pentagon Channel. Coming up on Around the Services, remembering the victims of 9/11. Our team coverage of the 9th anniversary of the terror attacks continues with a look at the families of the fallen. But first, air patrols. The Afghan Air Force secures the skies when we go downrange.
History. And that's all I want to say right now. Wanted to give you some information, and then we can confer off camera in a few minutes.
All right, that is Captain Paul Starks. He's with the Montgomery County Police Department. He says around 1 o'clock this afternoon, a man came into the lobby. He says it appears the man may have some explosive devices. He said the man is of Asian descent, that he has some complaint against the Discovery Channel operation. He says he's made some demands. He won't say what those demands are. He says there appears to be some bags around that man. He says there's one unconfirmed report that a shot was fired. So far we know of no injuries. We know that many of the Discovery Channel employees were told to get locked down, lock themselves in offices, and at some time later they were told to leave those offices, and they were secreted out of the building here to safety. Captain Starks describes it still as a fluid situation, that they're in contact with this man. They're trying to negotiate with this man. They say they, again, believe that there could be explosives in the vicinity of this man. There appear to be some bags near his location. That's what we know so far. Back to you.
And Pat, we heard you ask Captain Starks, you know, is he still in the lobby? Would not say, or if they knew where he was in the building. But as we know, it's been years since I've been there, but I can recall television sets and monitors, as with most stations and networks, fill lobbies. And you've got to wonder if anything is being seen as all of this plays out, and how he's communicating, whether he's using a cell phone or what he's doing to talk with what we assume is a SWAT team negotiator.
Well, I would think so. First of all, I think they have a pretty good idea, Jim, where this suspect is as they talk to him. And I think they probably have some eyes on him as they do talk to him. But again, it's a delicate situation. He doesn't want to get into the details of the demands made by this suspect. They're talking to him. They're trying to work out a peaceful end to this. And so he's keeping some things pretty close to his vest here.
Right. And in case you're wondering at home, this is why we are showing you these broad shots. We do not want to show anything any closer toward that lobby or inside or near the building. Pat, on the streets there, what are you seeing? Again, no car traffic whatsoever, no foot traffic, just law enforcement and cars.
Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the scene, Larry, if you will. Come on over. This is Larry, if you will. Let's look down. This is Colesville Road. You can see down there where that traffic is moving. That's East-West Highway. But as you move up Colesville Road towards Georgia Avenue, you can see this whole street is blocked off. There are police cars all over the place. There is a SWAT team here. There are many police officials here. And then up to Georgia Avenue, you see that is blocked off up there at Colesville as well. It's blocked off over on Wayne Avenue as well, as police keep a fairly safe zone around this this dicey and potentially dangerous situation.
And also, I mean, the fact that you can still see the Discovery building from where you are, and that reporters and others are allowed to kind of gather there, it's, I guess, safe to say that they feel like that at least that part of the building maybe is secure, or they've secured that part of the building. Also, Tariq Warner, one of our other cameramen, who's on the other side of the building, he said he was moved back to, I think he said Fiddler, and there goes one of the SWAT team's armored vehicles.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see an armored vehicle come into view here, Wendy, coming up Wayne Avenue. They're still manipulating officers and equipment around this scene as they try negotiations, but they're also manipulating other people here just to make sure this doesn't get too dangerous.
Pat, we just saw the metro stop there. Have you seen or heard any metro trains going by? This is a huge, major stop, the Silver Spring Station there for the Red Line.
Well, I can see, we'll swing around again and show the Red Line. You can see people up on the platform. As you mentioned that question, I haven't seen any trains come or go, but I haven't heard anything that leads me to believe that the metro